Alright, I'm going to talk about why you want to start on a smaller displacement bike instead of like a bigger one like a 600 or a 1000. Mainly, they're forgiving and they're really easy to learn on. That's the thing. They're really light, so if you drop them, you can pick them up. They're really cheap, so you don't really care if you drop them. You're not going to accidentally gun the throttle. You'll learn good throttle control. They're very nice. They're very good bikes. The ones I recommend, there's a couple different ones. There's the R3 and the Ninja 400, obviously, but you could also learn on like a Grom. They're a little bit smaller. Not a lot of people like those. Sorry, I hit a pothole. There's also like a KT07, Honda Rebel. That's the main thing, is they're just so easy, and I could lay this sucker down, I wouldn't care, because I bought it for 1,900 bucks, right? Whereas if I spent 12 grand on a bike and I drop it, I'm like, ah. But it's also heavier. Like, this is 300 pounds, and R6 is like 500, 600 pounds. They're not light. They're also way bigger. They're harder to lean, and they're not as maneuverable. So like, if this guy slams on his brake, I can get out of the way. But on an R6, probably can still get out of the way, but it'll be different. But anyway, that's the main reason, is they're really light. They're very cheap. They're very forgiving. You're not gonna accidentally throw yourself off the bike by pulling the throttle too hard, because you can barely do a wheelie, at least in this. And they'll fit pretty much everybody. I'm 6'2" on a 250. Just think about that before you buy a bike. At the end of the day, you can do what you want. Would I recommend a R6 or a 1000 as your first bike? No, because it'd be like getting a sports car as your first car. You don't really want to do that, because you don't know how to drive a car. You just need to learn how to be safe and controlled on the bike before you go and get the bike that is wild and super fun. What I would recommend is get a smaller displacement bike, ride it for a couple months, get used to the bike, and then go from there how you see fit. Anyway, that's my spiel. Do what you want, just don't be an idiot.